welcome to MS4. And today we're in the afternoon, we're in unnatural lighting, and we just needed to have a get ready with me that talked about feeling pretty. I've had an interesting day off today, and I found myself being, on the roller coaster of emotion, and I was just feeling like, I just want to feel pretty, which is a thing in of itself, to feel pretty. Not other words, not like fierce or gorgeous or dynamic or passionate or powerful. Today I would like to feel pretty. So I have put on my favorite shirt. This one says "Try Harder." Made a last ditch cup of coffee. It's probably a little late in the day, but I'm feeling like I want to live on the edge, so here we are. We're gonna get ready, and then we're probably gonna shower and wash it all off. But I just wanted to get ready and bring you along with me because I've just been thinking about this idea of feeling pretty, because sometimes people knock that. They say, well, your sense of well-being and self-worth should come from within, which on one hand I agree with, but on the other hand, sometimes it's nice to have a lift. Sometimes it's nice to have a little help, from your friends, and in this case, your makeup collection. So I just wanted to put on things on my face that would help me summon from inside me that feeling that I know I have to be pretty. So here we go. I'm probably not going to talk a lot about what I'm putting on. I'm just going to rhapsodize about what I'm thinking about. I'll put it, if I can remember, I'll put it all down in the box below. Okay, so we're going to do foundation up. So I've been thinking about this, and I know in some social groups, you can get punished for not being beautiful, for not wearing makeup. Even if you decide not to and you stick to your guns, after a while, generally people will accept that, but at first you do pay a price for not doing the social norm of whatever that is. But I will tell you, depending on what social group you're in, sometimes wearing makeup is against the norm. I know from being in academia, there was definitely a price if you were too beautiful, at least for a long time. And that's not always the case, but there's some sort of feeling that, if you're a professor and you don't have, a jacket with, and this was some actual feedback that one of my friends got teaching college, that the student really expected the experience of college to have somebody with a jacket, a tweed elbows on their jacket, in order to really feel like they had a professor. And that person wasn't that, and that person was also a woman. So, it was totally getting in the way of this person's expectations of what a professor should look like. The rest of their feedback was like, yeah, they really enjoyed the class, but, didn't really fit their notion of a professor. So sometimes in academia, and I know in some of the hard sciences, also, that not being pretty is, you're supposed to not be pretty. You're supposed to be thoughtful and deep and thinking about things. But then again, you have other ones that if you're not wearing makeup, really there's a problem. You're not caring about your appearance. You're not, you're just phoning it in. You're not really doing what you should be doing if you're not wearing makeup. So I've been both places. I like makeup. I like playing in makeup. I have a lot of fun with makeup. I've enjoyed makeup since I was very young. The first bit of makeup that I got was a blush, and I put it all over my face as well as all over my friend's face anytime I got. So that should have told me something. But I feel like, it's a problem when you can't feel secure and beautiful without something on the outside. Because the thing is, anybody can take the outside stuff away from you. Age can take it away from you, circumstance, monetary, you can be disfigured, and then that's a real big blow that you have to come out of, that like, what am I if I don't have X or Y to be beautiful. But complicated it is, it's hard if you've never felt beautiful to really go through life and exude the feeling of being beautiful, you know, to act that part. And that causes all sorts of problems in its own right if you don't ever feel like you are beautiful or pretty, or, you know, any of those other adjectives we could apply to it. And the opposite also, I mean, if you've never felt ugly, bless you. You are so damn lucky. Because there's a lot of times that you just feel unpretty. And sometimes, again, that's circumstantial. You're not feeling well, you've been through a hard time, you know, you've got other things to think about besides feeling pretty. But sometimes it's deeper than that. And if you're not conjuring the pretty from within you, if you don't have the energy or the life vitality, that's really difficult. And I know also there's strange things that make a person feel ugly that you don't even think about. Abuse can make you feel really ugly and unworthy. Also, oddly enough, my partner and I went to the Sequoia National Forest, and we stayed in one of the hotels, and the bathroom mirror, I swear to God, this was the reverse magic mirror, the ugly mirror. Like, you would walk into the bathroom and suddenly you looked like you had aged about 20 years, and you had that whole rode hard, put away wet look. Like, you really, really look terrible. And I thought, what kind of energy is in this place? Like, who are the people that looked in this mirror over time and left that energy behind, and I'm stepping into it? Like, oh, it was bad. And it happened to both of us. And I came out of the bathroom and was expressing this, you know, to my partner. And he's like, oh my God, I'm glad you said that. I don't feel alone now. It was awful. I'm like, yeah, seriously. But, you know, it's one of those things that, you know, maybe you don't need someone else to make you feel beautiful, but it also, if you've never felt beautiful, sometimes that can, somebody else seeing you as beautiful can give you that spark that helps you feel beautiful, and then you know what it feels like, and so then you can bring that up in yourself. I'm going to be using some of my, this is a little mini of the Rare Beauty blush, the Pinched Cheeks one. So I just, this is a light enough color, you can do that with this one. Some of the other ones, you don't dare put it directly on your face. But I feel like you don't want to have something that depends all the time on someone else, because that also, like age, like anything, can be taken away. But sometimes it's that idea, the complicated idea, you have to love yourself, but sometimes somebody has to love and care about you for you to get the idea of how that looks or what it feels like, and then to be able to love yourself. Like, it's a weird circle that doesn't start with you, but in the end it lights something up inside of you. So I feel like there is something to be said about the idea that sometimes you need somebody else to show you what loving yourself looks like, or what good, healthy love looks like. Okay, we are blushed. And I'm going to have my drop of magic. I'm going to use my Fantasia highlighter. I never thought I liked things with little glitter particles, but this one just looks lovely, and I don't know why. No clue. So I'm liberally applying fairy dust. So I know sometimes this feeling beautiful You know, people can knock it, but I feel like it helps conjure up things in yourself that you need. For my eyes, I'm going to be using there's a set of 3. These are the Laura Mercier colors. Just going through this, so I'm gonna. The thing about feeling pretty is sometimes it doesn't have to be pink, but I feel like the idea of using sheen and light and soft conveys that notion of pretty to the eye. I'm just gonna use my finger to blend out. But sometimes it's like, it's your superhero identity. You put on a favorite jacket, you put on a piece of jewelry, you put on an outfit, you put on a blush, you put on a ring, you put on shoes that you love. Like, you know, there's nothing that makes you more fierce than like maybe tying on a pair of Doc Martens. Like, whatever it is, it helps the magic, it helps to bring it out of you. And it's a thing. And you don't want to have to depend on that thing, because what if you lose it? But there again, sometimes you're tired and you just need that oomph over the hill. You need that piece that you don't want to have a talisman that you must have, but it's nice to have a talisman just in case, you know. And then some days you feel like you have a lot of energy and you can just channel that. You can bring it on up and there's no problem. But if it's like the case, you know, where you only have so many spoons, you've only got so much energy, sometimes you don't have the energy for pretty. Like, you're just getting out of bed and moving. You're going through your day. That's all you got. And I understand that. There's large swaths of things sometimes in my life where that's the number of spoons I have and they don't include pretty. But I work on that, trying to get more spoons. And I also know that sometimes if I feel pretty, I get more spoons. It's like a magic game. It's like, oh, you know, you've used the pretty spell. Here, have 5 more spoons. And that energy comes from the universe or around you, or you collect it, or, you know, it's coming up from different places inside you than you thought you had. But I feel like that's, again, one of those strange circles. Sometimes somebody else needs to love you first. Sometimes you need to put on the makeup and then the energy to be pretty comes. So, I don't know. It's weird. But I will say that, you know, makeup can be powerful in that way. I mean, especially for people, and I say people because I know a lot of the men who wear makeup also need a way to feel beautiful, and the makeup is a way into that. Okay, so I feel like for me, being able to have help feeling pretty some days is good. I don't rely on that all the time. Sometimes I know I can't rely on it too much, because then if you're trying to bring your pretty and it fails and you're just a hot mess, sometimes you just have to embrace that hot mess. Okay, I'm gonna do a little bit of black just for, you know, emphasis. And then we're gonna do, I got a Colourpop So Winey liner that I want to try out. It's a liquid liner. And I'm trying to decide whether I like it, so that's what we're doing. I just want a little black with my pink. Okay, we may come back for more of that, but we'll see. Okay, short moment for coffee before we apply liquid liner. Ah, much better. So I'm always interested to know what makes a person feel pretty, like, and what's some surprising things for you that make you feel pretty. I mean, you know, it's not always, you know, a piece of makeup. It could be something completely different. It could be, you know, somebody gives you a flower and you suddenly feel gorgeous. I don't know. What makes you feel pretty? Okay. I think of often the story about Marilyn Monroe and how someone was walking down the street with her and nobody was noticing, you know, and she said, well, you know, the Norma Jean, that's, you know, unremarkable. I'm Norma Jean. And then, but watch this. And she put on the Marilyn Monroe energy and suddenly everyone saw her. And I think about that as far as the idea of summoning your beautifulness. And it's not always as easy as turning on a light. And again, being pretty doesn't solve everything. You know, like I said, sometimes there's a price to pay for being beautiful. But it's an interesting thought that idea of summoning the beautiful, summoning the other, and not necessarily that it has to be a different part of yourself. You can be a whole person, and sometimes just you're not putting your energy through that. I've met some people that have fantastic charisma. They put all of their energy through their charisma or their sexy, and you spend enough time with them and suddenly that drops and you're like, oh. And sometimes there's nothing there, like there's nothing of interest there, but other times it is. But sometimes people just put everything they have through that, which is not what I want to encourage, but it happens. As always in life, your mileage may vary. You want to be as true and authentic as you can be, but also there's nothing wrong necessarily with being able to be summoning the pretty. Okay, I'm gonna put on my glasses, my spectacles. Ah, there you are. Now for the lip. I'm trying out some different things that I got. So for the lip liner, I'm reading the fine print because it's little. This is a Pat McGrath Labs in Nude Venus. So we're gonna line with that. And then I have a lip gloss sample also that I got that I wanna try out from Buxom. Pat McGrath has the mini set of lip products that's a nice to kind of try me for the holidays. And again, it's soft, but it's just some definition. So I'm gonna do a little bit into the lip, into the corners. Since I'm going to be doing gloss for that. Okay, and then this is a little sample of the Buxom lip plumping gloss. And this is in Dolly. And this smells lovely like dessert. Tiny bit of the plumping you can feel going on, but it's not a hot plumping. Some of the plumping ones smell chemical and have a chemical sort of, you know, as you breathe in, they kind of irritate your throat because they have kind of either a hot sort of a thing, like you're having peppers, like you're breathing in peppers too close, or they have chemically sort of things breathing in. I prefer minty, and this is, it's dessert-like with just a backdrop of more of a menthol sort. But there we go. So that was actually not too long of a look. I do feel pretty. Let me get a little closer. Don't panic. And I do feel pretty. I think I was successful. I might not look pretty, but I am successful in the fact that I feel pretty, and taking the time and the care, and in this case it's a little bit of self-love, has made me feel very pretty, very ready to take on the rest of my day. But I've got my favorite shirt on too, and that helped. I do like the idea of trying harder. And other than that, I feel like, you know, everybody's got to have some ideas about, you know, how makeup fits in their lives, how feeling pretty or beautiful. Does makeup help you summon that out of yourself? Any thoughts you've got, definitely leave them down and below. Love to hear what people are thinking about, and hopefully you're feeling pretty today also. And if you don't, take a little bit of mine. Anyway, love talking to you. We'll do it again soon. So stay tuned for the next video. Have a great rest of your day. Bye-bye.